Hey everybody, it's Greg. I'm going to do just a real quick video on an idea I had today, and I kind of posted a little bit of it on the Arcane Library Discord channel under ShadowDark. I was watching a video by, I'll put it in the description below, and I posted it on the ShadowDark page from a new channel. I think they only have like 6 or 7 videos, and it's called Can't Rip. And it spells CAN''T''RIP, Can't Rip. And they do some really good videos. I really enjoy how they do it. It's like 2 guys, I think they're in Italy. Just so far, they put up some great stuff. I think it's going to be a very popular channel in the future. But anyway, they were talking about the hero's journey. And I've heard a ton about it. I know about it and stuff like that. And I have... it's kind of one of those things where you think about, you hear about it a lot. I read a ton, so I'm kind of familiar with all that stuff, watching movies and TV shows and everything. So I'm familiar with it. But then they talked about that one of the things about D&D that you need to do is as a DM, because they're giving DM advice, and that is to use the hero journey to help with your group play. And I thought, I think there's something that I definitely want in my solo play, right? I think that hero journey, that idea, because I read so much and watch, I'm an old dude. And there's the reason I come to play RPGs. It's always been the way, because you want to tell stories, right? You want to tell a narrative. You want to do these type of things. And so I was just thinking about that. I know some people complain. Complain's not the word. Some people will say, hey, it's hard for me to solo. I'll do it for a couple things, but I really can't get into it too much. It's hard for me to get to that mindset and stuff like that. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that, I was just wondering if this was one of the ways of doing it, is because, do we take into hero's journey, sitting down and solo playing because you just got finished reading, like, one of my favorite books. I'm reading through the Dragonbone Chair again. This is my hardback first edition copy of Dragonbone Chair. So I'm reading through it again, and I just finished a Steven Erikson Miles On, one of his newest ones too. And after I get done those, I just want to go play, and I want to play a character. But one of the things that I think there's a couple of reasons that people have a problem with solo. One of them is how do I get started, right? And that's easy. I think on my videos show you over and over again how easy it is to get started using ShadowDark to solo. It's just grab the book, grab some dice, get a piece of paper, get my design kit if you want it, it's free. Get my 1-sheet Avenger kit if you want it, it's free. You don't even need that. It's a piece of paper, roll up a dungeon, roll up a character, use your imagination, use the ShadowDark supplement, and bam, just get going. Right, just play, and then you're going to learn as you go. Like, you're always going to get better. That's kind of, it's kind of part of our hero's journey, is you getting out, walking past the threshold, going out into the adventure, and going through your trials so you can learn. And that's the same thing with life. Anything that you're doing. So, I think one of the things is just get started. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't go out and buy. Don't start with a bunch of supplements. Don't start with all the good stuff that's out there. The GM emulator and all these things, it's all fantastic. If you want to get the one-page one to kind of start learning it, that's fine as well. Really just get the book. There's so many tables. Again, watch my channel. But the thing about it is hero's journey. Like, I sat down the other day, my last couple of videos I did Tor into Outcast, and I just started him. I rolled a character, just started going with him, and loved it. Still can't wait to get back. Still can't wait to get back to some of my original characters that I had at the beginning, like Shireen and them. They were just such, that story just, was a lot of fun. And so I did Torn. I've created this little thing. I really enjoy it. Then I started to sit down because I wanted to use the Deathfinger Todd Pickens journal, because someone asked me about journal. I really want to focus a little bit on, trying to be consistent, using the same products over and over again. And I think another thing, I don't know if you've seen Professor Dungeon Master's new video on Dungeon YouTube dying, D&D YouTube dying. And one of the things he did say, and it's one of the things that I have been struggling with my channel. I don't care about getting a lot of, I'm not trying to get thousands of views. I'm just here to help people play solo, and just to do it because it makes me want to do more solo play, and so it gives me, my life's already busy, so if I could say, you know what, I need to record me playing, it gives me another reason to do it. It's like I tell my buddy, if you show up at the gym, I'm gonna be at the gym because I'm not gonna let you down. And it's kind of the same thing. And so I want to get into a rhythm of trying to put out a video at least once a week. And this, but it got me thinking. So the other day I got my journal and I said, hey, I'm just gonna show you a little bit. And I had Drim the Dwarf, fighter, squire, lawful scholar, and I did a couple adventures for him, and I did one and then two, and there was just this kind of this. It just seemed his story kept wanting to get told, right? And so I did two stories. He's part of these. Like I rolled Defeat the Thief of the Royal Knights. He was a squire, so that means he's part of this Royal Knights of a city I haven't even named yet. But now, as I was thinking, and I watched that video about the hero's journey, man, Drim, his story and who he was, Tor and Outcast, those things just started popping up, going, man, I just want to know more about this fictional rolled up character that I ran up, and I want to know his hero journey. And what was interesting is last week, so this is my journal I use for, I'm going to use it for Drim's Adventures or whatever when I'm doing, just to show off. I love this journal. I think it's great for ShadowDark. I got to talk to Todd a little bit this week, and I love the binding on it. And in fact, if you go to his Etsy page, you'll be down at the bottom. Right now, I believe he's running 20% off on his journals. And so it fits perfectly with the book. Like if you're carrying it, it just fits perfectly. And he said something about making it bigger, but I really like the small journal size. I just enjoy that. But I have one of these big Electrum 1917 the big wide journals that I use, and in it this is how sometimes I'll create adventures and stuff, and I'll take it to work with me. And so during lunch or something, I'll just bring up my ShadowDark PDF. I'll bring up a dice roller that I have on my phone, and I'll just roll up an adventure. So this week I had some lunchtime, and it gives me something to take away from my day. I'm in a job that's can be quite stressful, and I deal in some deep stuff, and so it's just like gives me something to kind of clean the palate, right, to get me back into the reality of stuff that I deal with. And so I said, I'm going to roll up an adventure. So I rolled up an adventure, and what's crazy is this is exactly what I rolled. I rolled Escort the Sword of the Ancient Lineage to the Caverns of the Desecrated Sailor. And then I have Free and Way are my things that I rolled. And then I rolled up my dungeon like I normally do. And so what I normally do is, like you guys know, I roll a 5-room dungeon, but it doesn't mean it's going to be 5 rooms. I can make it, I can use just these 5 ideas almost the same way as I use as an oracle. It's almost like a dungeon oracle to me about how to create this dungeon. And that's another thing that when you look at, if you look at Can't Rip's, one of their other videos, they have a really good one on 5 ways to make your dungeon better, I think it is. Really, really good about adding environmental, about using resources and all these types of things. And as I was watching that video, I was thinking about how I do this, right? Like I think about Monster Mob, Treasure, Boss Monster, Trap, Major Hazard. These are the things that need to be central themes of this Caverns of the Desecrated Sailor. So I rolled this up last week, and I was like, man, that is crazy. The sword of the ancient, escort the sword of the ancient lineage, right? And then I go, oh my gosh, that's almost like the next adventure. Because I didn't roll this to be Drim's next adventure. I was just rolling adventures because that's what I do. Because sometimes I get a DM, and if I do, I want to have something ready. And so if you look at it, Grim, he at the end of my last adventure, he goes into this Spire of the Golden Outcast because a thief had stolen. Thief, and that could be question or surprise. Like thief could be that the person who really owns the sword is taking it back, but the royal knights think he's a thief because it's the knight that he is squire to, or who's a person he's an apprentice to. They send him on to get this and to try to recover this because they know that the area is supposed to be unguarded at the time. They know something. They send him to get it, and it's like one of those things where I just played it as they're doing it because they don't want it to get out, right, about the sword. And so I was like, oh, well, that's interesting, question and surprise. And so he finds this sword, right, and it's the primordial blade of annihilation, and it's got an Arctic runic markings. It have an Arctic feel. It's got it smells like like an ocean breeze, and it has thin frost on it, and it does +3 cold damage. So he finds this sword, and then the next adventure I roll is escort the sword of the ancient lineage. Like again, I was just rolling this to be, adding an adventure to my adventure journal, just to do something to give me an activity when I was at lunch, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like Drim's next thing. And so then I watched a video this morning, and I saw it, and it was like, the hero's journey, and I'm like, wow, this seems more of something that could be, and my thoughts went exactly to Drim. And so, you can go get the hero's journey online and how it works or whatever. But if you got XDM, the Extreme Dungeon Master's book, which is great, and you can get a Kindle version, and I don't think it's very expensive, or a PDF version. But in it, he talks about story structure. Story is everything. And it's a great book. It's written by Tracy Hickman, who wrote Ravenloft and Dragonlance and all that. And so he's telling you on a 7-point story structure and all this kind of stuff. He's giving you how to story is everything. But in it, he has the Campbellian monomyth, and he tells you he strengthens it down because there's like 17 stages. He crunches it down to 9 elements, and they're all right here. And they talk about it in the video, right? The call to adventure, the threshold, you get the mentor, the threshold crossing, attaining the prize, and then the threshold return. And you have this, and then he gives you a good explanation, and then he takes Star Wars and shows you how it plays itself out, right? And then he also does like designing the story. This is a fabulous book, and it really just shows you how really you don't really need much when it comes to playing Dungeons and Dragons, because he has. And look, even on the back page, I love when books do this. On the front, it has who this book belongs to. But look, on the back, it's got the whole story structure for you. The 3-act story, 7. Good luck. You guys know me. I have a hard time pronouncing stuff for some reason because I think my mouth, I can hear it in my head, but my mouth won't say it for whatever reason. Yeah, you got that. And then the monomyth light, right? He has it right here. And so it just got me thinking is that I'm not, I want to explore Drim's, who he is as a character more. And I want to go through this type of thing, his call to adventure, I want to develop him as I go along. And I know a lot of people go, well, it's ShadowDark, it's a deadly game. You don't know if he's going to live, survive, because ShadowDark, that's how, again, yes, ShadowDark can be that way, but if you're soloing, if you're going to solo and every time you solo, your party gets wiped out, I think that just gets to a point where it doesn't have something that draws you back. But if you take a character that I went, I had a piece of art for him, I wrote up his stats, and I'm going to make it difficult for him because you can't do anything heroic if you don't have something to be heroic for. And so it's not like I'm going to make it easy for him. But when I sit down and I play solo, what's going to keep bringing me back to the table? That is what this whole channel is about. I want people to solo. I want them to enjoy it. I want them they can go from solo to group play back to solo, and it just feels like they're doing the exact same thing. And by the way, I did talk to someone, the one person who is going to do duo play with me. I don't know if we're going to be able to get it, but I do have someone else And so look for that at the beginning of the new year, which will be a lot of fun. And so if we can get it together, we get our schedules together, it'd be a lot of fun. But I'm really looking forward to it. But that's when I heard that and I watched that video, it just, and Drim popped in my head and sort of tore, and I was like, man, I just want to tell these guys' story. I just want to tell their story, and I want to do it. I want to do this, and I want to start adding these things in it for two reasons. Number one, while I'm soloing and I'm doing it live for you guys or recording it for you guys, you know, I can start using these things, and then I can get help back from the community going, well, you know, you could do this, could do that with, you know, understanding the monomyth, how to put it into practice pretty much. But I just want something. I just think this is a quick video just to say, this is another arrow in the quiver that can help you develop your ShadowDark play, your solo play. And so I just wanted a quick moment. I want to put the video down below. I really recommend you guys go follow them, look at their channel. It's a very good channel. I like it a lot. I love the production value and really what the guys have to say. That'd be so much fun. I was like, God, I wish I could play with these guys because they seem like they'd be fantastic GMs. And so just going to say, yeah, I'm the hero's journey. You know, you guys, what do y'all think down in the comments below? What do you think about, would this be something that would help you come back to table over and over again, to help you to continue to play solo? That would just energize you to want to sit back at the table and say, man, I got to play that adventure because I want to know how the story goes. And so, and again, my channel is based upon, yes, solo play, but at the exact same time, it's about, you can take a lot of the stuff that you watch me do, building these adventures and these characters, and go and DM it your way as well. And so this is a quick video. I mean, probably quicker than most of my other ones, but just let me know in the comments. And if you're on the Arcane ShadowDark, go over there. Let me know in your comments. What do you think about the idea of what brings you back to the table? That's one thing I would like to know. And also, what do you think about the hero's journey as another tool to get you back to soloing? And so look for next week. I'll have another adventure for Drim. And I might even do a video. Part of maybe the next video will be, I might do it off video, I don't know, but working a little bit to flesh Drim out a little bit more, like how he became a scholar, maybe give the town, who are these royal knights, who is, because I think right now I'm looking at the main villain has to be someone in this, the royal knights, is the one who stole this that has this sword. And now Drim knows that something's amiss. And so I need to figure out a way of him taking the sword to the caverns of the desiccated sailor. And is that a end adventure or is that the next adventure? I have to figure out how to work that, but that's what my mind's going to be going on when it comes to Drim the dwarf, and see how what happens to my what happens to him, and see how his story goes and how he becomes, if he becomes, a hero. So thanks, guys. Have a good day.